Welcome, peace and blessings to everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This is David Minnie, the Samoan Watchman, and happy to be live again. It's been a while, but excited to be back. Let me go ahead and get this quick sound check. All right, we sounded good. Okay, guys, it's been a minute, but back again, and I had to take some time off, take care of some things, and spend some time with the family. And I'm excited for testing out some new equipment and also sharing some awesome information. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a great week. It's been about a week since we last went on and shared a video, but I just had a couple things that I want to share, mainly pertaining to the Mandela Effect. But just to catch you up on some things, I had to take some time to help my wife finish up her last minute training, but we got her out there. She ran the marathon, so very excited for her and very proud of her. So good job, babe. And she did it. She ran the LA marathon and inspired me. So next one is it's gonna be my turn. September or October, I'm gonna be climbing Mount Baldy, and so that's gonna be our goal. And we'll go from there. Never did anything like it, but I'm inspired. So hopefully I can hold on to that and power up that mountain. So today I just want to cover some of the things that um, if you follow me on Facebook, you see I've got into a couple arguments here and there with my little brother about some Mandela effects. And I'm not an expert on the subject. I'm just a person here questioning things. I'm just here to just ask questions pretty much and get other people start asking questions and not just taking everything for face value. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta see there's things that are happening, uh, these are not meshing right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just that guy who's gonna sit there and ask questions and ask why. So don't mind me. But here we are today. We're gonna cover just a little bit. It's gonna be a quick video because I gotta run. Um, but yeah, what's up? Uncool Paranoia's in the house. What's up? Sins Brands in the house. Welcome, guys. Today, I'm gonna fly through just a couple of thoughts on Mandela Effect. If you understand what the Mandela Effect is, if you follow it, then you've already heard some of these examples. Just some of the things that didn't add up to me was like the Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is something that I grew up watching. My dad was a big fan of Looney Tunes, and you know this logo changing from TUNES just doesn't add up to me. As a person who's watched it all my life, even as an adult, I watched the old cartoons. I didn't mind. I loved watching it, but this spelling just doesn't add up. And as a person who's in business, I've been in life insurance and investments for 9 years, and I study business. I'm into reading. My coach has got me into reading books and getting off of television. So all I do is feed my mind and hone my skills. And when it came to this the subject of Looney Tunes and how it would change something. Now here's a logo that, well, this one here shows a bunch of the Looney Tunes logos. They're video games, Looney Tunes back in action, back in action, back in action. Um, you can go through all the Looney Tunes video games too. I tried checking all the PS1 games. It's all spelled like this now, which is strange to me. But if you look at their spin-off, which was Tiny Toons, Tiny Toons is spelled the way that I remember Looney Tunes being spelled, with a TOONES. Right? And so to me, that's a big indication that something has happened here because um, I read a book called The 25 Biblical Laws of Success. And in the 25 Biblical Laws of Success, one of the main chapters was the power of your name, power of names, I think it was called. And it's pretty much branding. And when you have a business, your name means everything. You have to, um, what you have to get. There's the power of association. You want things to you want certain ideas to associate with the name of your company. So it's very important that you drive the name of your product of your or your business into the minds of the consumer. So for Looney Tunes to have a spinoff and change the spelling of its name, to me, that's a big indication of big proof of the Mandela effect, because from a marketing standpoint, it doesn't make sense. If you're looking at branding, traditional branding, you want to put that name everywhere. The spelling has to be exactly how you spell its original product, which Warner Brothers' biggest cartoon product is Looney Tunes. And apparently it's Tunes. And if that was the case, why did they change the spelling of Tiny Toons to Toons? Again, from a marketing standpoint, this does not add up. You can ask any person who is in marketing, any person whose job is to come up with advertisements and product placement. You do not mess with the spelling of the name. That's big. You know what I mean? So for a spinoff show to have different spelling, it doesn't add up. And just looking at it, if anybody is from my era or older, that grew up with Looney Tunes, you can clearly see the Tunes does not make any sense. So I'm looking at this Looney Tunes fandom.org.wiki. Shows even here all the spelling is changed. Now I didn't go into patents and everything. I'm not digging that deep, but yeah, they don't cover any reason why the spelling would be different. Again, I'm just, you know, shooting from the hip here. And first thoughts is that marketing wise, it doesn't make sense. You don't go against what your original product, your main product. You don't go against the spelling or the likeness of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to keep it close to the original product. And so there's that. All right, now let's see what else I got here. All right, another big one for me was um, Mr. Rogers. Right, so here we have Mr. Rogers in the theme song. If you know the Mandela Effect, something has changed in the theme song where he says, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood," but clearly that was changed. We remember it a certain way. Let me see if I can just play a little bit, if my computer will. Y'all remember this, right? Let me just wait till he gets to the part where he actually says the word. Now, this is going to be the new reality here. Liberty is a star. Yep. One of those star ports. You would think that I can't see that far where I'm at. Might have been misnoted. Yep. Why do you assume that AI can't do Mandela Effect or the internet information? I think Mandela Effect and magic can be real, but I also think internet is fallible. Magic is definitely in the works here. Sins, man. Check out John Levy, Michelle Gibson. Oh, what's up, Sasquatch? Rose Farts, one of the best names up in YouTube. Yep, you're right. You're right. I remember being spelled tunes. Absolutely, always tunes. Short for cartoons. Yeah, my brother brought up the whole melody music, and saying that that's the connection to the actual Tunes. But then again, my brother's very Mandela affected, and I argued with him plenty about some of these examples. He does not see the old ways in any of my examples, and I brought up multiple. And that's the biggest question to me about the Mandela effect. How is someone selected uh, to receive the update, and just how strong that update is to them? You know what I mean? Like their belief. I've been trying so hard to penetrate, even with personal Mandela effects that have happened in my family, doesn't penetrate him at all. He just stays with the new update. It's almost like a curse. And if you don't know, science and magic are pretty much the same thing. Thor says it in the movie. He says, "You call it science, we call it magic, but they're the same thing." And so definitely magic is involved in changing. AI is definitely spiritual. So yeah, I wanted to bring up this. Mr. Rogers used to say, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." Then now the new change is he says, "This neighborhood." My brother claims he has all the series on DVD and he watches it with his kids, and and I believe him. I believe he believes that he is correct and that what he sees as reality is correct. But I know that when people are Mandela affected, or when they believe when they take this new update, there's almost no reasoning with them. And this is what I found out through talking with him. But I wanted to bring this up. Mr. Rogers says, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Now he says it's this neighborhood. Here's a character from the old school show. This is Daniel Tiger, right? And this is the new Daniel Tiger. He is now a cartoon, right? Come on, computer. All right. This is the new Daniel Tiger. Daniel Tiger now has his own show. And this is Daniel Tiger's intro, his theme song. Check that out. Let's hear it again. This is him singing the original theme song for Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The neighborhood, right? So let's see. This is complicated. Okay, I can't keep up with all the comments today. I'm trying to get through this, but I see you guys going on about it. So this guy, Daniel Tiger, he has his own show and he sings the theme song, which is the same theme song as Mr. Rogers. He sings it it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And just to throw it off, if you look at the captions, they put it's a beautiful day in a neighborhood, the letter A, which is just there to throw you off, right? Because this is a spinoff. And from what I'm learning from Brian Stabley is that spinoffs and parodies are not going to, or satire, they're not going to be affected as the original content will, right? And so this right here, this is proof. This spinoff show sings it the original way. And so that is letting people know right there that the way we remember it is the correct way. Now there is an update, and yeah, this is it right here, guys. So moving on, one of the big things that we fought about was the word unicorns in the Bible. Okay, now I've gone to church all my life, and I've been a preacher for quite a few years. Stepped down from the position for leadership differences and stuff like that. So now we're just in charge of the music and the media. But looking at this word unicorn in the Bible, now this gets me. I'm gonna cover two Bible verses. I'm gonna cover the unicorn. I'm gonna cover the other Mandela Effect, the wineskin. All right. So this right here, it bothers me, right? And so this right here, there's a couple verses. There's 9 verses in the Bible that have the word unicorn today. Now that was never there. I've never seen in all the years that I've preached and read the word. I've never seen the word unicorn until recently. Just the fact that they're saying one of the Bible verses says that God is as powerful. It states it words it this way. It says God is as powerful as it were as the unicorn, comparing God's power to the unicorn. Now everything that the Bible says, where they describe God, where they describe His power, His might, where they explain the way God works, things that God compares Himself to, Jesus as well. Every time the Bible talks about God, right, and uses words to describe who God is and how powerful He is and His might and His beauty and His mercy, there are multiple songs, sermons, sayings, right? Especially look at the music. Out of all the music that I've ever heard, and I'm not the best, guy for memory when it comes to lyrics. I'm the bass player, and I'm terrible at the lyrics, but you can tell. I mean, I've never heard a song, not one gospel song, that talks about God is as powerful as a unicorn. Never. I've never heard a sermon with a pastor talking about God's might is as powerful as a unicorn. Never. I've never heard that. That is foreign to me. You know what I mean? And so for it to be in the Bible all of a sudden and people are just saying, "Yeah, you just don't remember." It's like, no, that has never been in the culture of a Christian. Has never been, involved. We've never had to use that word. I've never seen posters in the church or pictures in the hall or anything like that regarding the unicorn. The reference of unicorn in the book of Job, where it says, "Will the unicorn lay next to you in the manger?" It asks, "Will the unicorn go and put on the plow?" I'm paraphrasing here, but put on the plow and go in and plow the ground, till the land for you without you. Will the unicorn, serve you and go and plow the land by itself? Now, here's the thing. I show this picture right here, the horse and the horn, because my theory, and this is just my theory, is that whoever's behind this is straight up mocking God, because unicorns are used in the homosexual culture, right? It's an animal that they love to use in their memorabilia and their whatever, their T-shirts, their teddy bears. Everyone I see that's homosexual has some kind of rainbow unicorn teddy bear or something, or mug that has a rainbow unicorn. I mean, to me, it's mockery of God and His creation. That's my theory. That they're just making fun of God and mocking Him and putting it right in His own word. Um, and I've gotten into it with people because they were saying, "No, you're wrong here. The unicorn is in reference to the rhinoceros. That it has this one horn." Well, first of all, not all rhinos have one horn. Most rhinos have two horns. There is the white rhino that has the one horn in India, but the Bible is talking about this rhino, which is supposed to be, which is the word rem, and that can be translated to the wild ox, which is most versions of the Bible use the translation of the wild ox, except for this Mandela effect, which is in the King James version that uses the word unicorn. They're saying that this is a rhino. That when you see the word unicorn, that it's referring to the rhino, not this fabled creature. Now, Job is talking about this creature, Rem, that is a wild, strong animal, that it has a plow attached to it, and that it is being used to farm. The Bible talks about farming a lot. I've never seen anybody farm with a rhinoceros. It is not common for people to farm with a rhino, or to see a rhino with a saddle on it, with you being used to till the ground. Now, of course, this is 2022, and if you Google anything, you're most likely going to find one person who's going to do it. And uh, and just as I said, I Googled it, and there's a video. There's one guy in the United States who has a farm and purchased a rhino and put a plow on it and used it to plow a couple farming lines. I don't know how often he uses that rhino, but there's at least one guy out there who does it, but it's not a very common thing, right? And so, yeah, absolutely, they're obsessed with the unicorn. And so it's just mockery, for them to throw that word in there. That's just them talking smack, and and I'm also laughing at how many people are going to accept it and just be like, "Oh, it was always there. It was always there." And then they'll go into the Strong's Concordance, which was changed in 1890, where they now have Strong's Concordance referring to Rem as also the unicorn, which, if you look into it, the rhinoceros does have a scientific name, the Rhinoceros unicornus or something like that. But there's the word unicorn behind the word rhino in its actual official scientific name. But then again, that comes from the white coats who worship in and their faith is Scientology. So I mean, not Scientology, it's scientism. You know what I mean? That's their faith. So that's their faith messing with ours. You know what I mean? So if you want to believe that narrative that their official scientific name has the word unicorn in it, then you go ahead and accept that. You know what I mean? But for me, 1890, I mean, in the 1800s, there's been a lot of changes. So, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. So, yeah, just the fact that Job is referring to the unicorn as something that was saddled and has a plow and is used for farming and lives in a manger. I don't think they had rhinos doing all that kind of stuff. So if you want to believe it was a rhinoceros, then go ahead. And again, I've never heard anyone refer to God being as powerful as the rhino. He's been referenced to, as far as his power goes, he's been referenced to, many, many things, right? But never have I ever heard a unicorn. So to me, it's a bunch of bullshit. Moving on. So that was, you can find that in Job 39 verse 9. We'll skip all this. This is Job 39 verse 9 again. Now I'm gonna get to the last one. Now the wineskin is something that really hit me because I don't know all the Mandela changes in the Bible, but when I do come across something that I remember specifically or something that's impacted me in such a great way, I had to talk about it. And so this is the Bible verse, Mark 2:22, right? So this is the way it was supposed to be. No one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost in the skins as well. But one puts new wine into fresh wineskins. Now, the new version of this verse right here in the King James is now the word wineskin has been replaced with the word bottle. It's been replaced with the word bottle. I did not mean to drink from a bottle right then and there. my mouth is getting dry. Anyways, now when I was preaching, when I was a layman preacher, I preached this parable of the wineskin twice. Once in 2009. I remember talking about this, and this is when my church was located over in Norwalk. I remember talking about the wineskins and this parable. And I preached this message in 2019, and that was the last sermon that I preached. Was on this, Mark 2:22. Right here is footage of that. So this is me, 2019, my last sermon, preaching on this. Now, when I was reading up to preach the word, I thought I was, when you pray to God and you ask God, okay, give me the message. What am I supposed to preach on this week, right? And it came to me to preach the wineskins, right? And because of certain things I was learning at the time and just events that were going on, and my message was to grow, to be new, to be, not to be the same old self. Anyway, I remember um, reading up to study, reading up in my studies to preach this message. And when I did, I came across the word bottles, and that it hit me a certain way. I was like, "Whoa, I don't remember this word. This is the parable of the wineskins." Now, if you look, it's in all the versions of the Bible. Go ahead, look on Bible Hub. All the versions of the Bible say wineskin, except for the King James version. The King James version is the version that it's always affected by this Mandela, and some others, of course. But um, here's the thing: people will say, and they have said to me, "No, you're just remembering it wrong, or you were using other translations." But here's the thing: when I was preaching, there was 4 men who preached the word of God. There was the senior pastor, the assistant pastor, there was myself, the layman preacher, and there was the deacon. And we would alternate on Sundays on who was going to preach. And but we were taught by our senior pastor that you preach out of the King James version. He taught us to stay on the same Bible. He made sure everybody in the church got a copy of the King James version. And when we preached out of that version. Now, of course, I know today that version of the Bible has been changed and altered in many ways, and so I don't necessarily stick to that version. But um, when I preached in 2009, it was off the King James version. When I preached in 2019, I was still preaching out of the King James. So when I read this as I was studying for this message, I remember standing on that stage, and I remember reading in my room before that day to go and preach, and it just wasn't sitting right. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is it saying bottles? And you know how sometimes the Bible will say something in Mark and it'll say it again in Luke and Matthew. So then I was thinking, okay, well maybe the other verses that the other versions of this verse in this Bible, maybe they say wineskin. No, it's all bottles. It's all bottles in the King James. And so someone can say, oh, maybe, the last time you preached, you were using a different version of the Bible, but no. We were quite adamant at speaking or preaching out of the King James version. That was something that we've always done. And so it wouldn't make sense, and the only way I would be able to prove that, the only way I feel I would be able to prove that to certain people who just need the evidence, is if I could find that physical Bible that I preached out of back in 2009, and I could show you, that it said the same thing. But if you know the Mandela effect, then you know that it would have changed anyway, supernaturally. So just wanted to share that hit me so hard. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. Um, I've known about the wolf and the lamb, and the lion and the lamb. I've known about that change and changes in the Lord's Prayer. But this one right here, this one for sure is proof, because just the fact that we never preached out of any other version except for the King James. So here it is. Now it says bottles. Can't post comments. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to share some of the thoughts that I had on some of these things before I forget, because I'm forgetful. But yeah, I got some more evidence that I want to post. It's just I got to run today, so we're gonna end it here. But let's see. I thank you for being here. Sasquatch Rose Farts on Cool Paranoia. See my wife stop by, and Singe Man. What are your thoughts on this? And if you have other things or if you have any rebuttals, I'd like to hear them too. As we're trying to put all the pieces together in this crazy puzzle. So that's all I got today. But more coming probably tonight. We'll see how things go. All right, you guys, stay blessed. Thanks for stopping by. Y'all have a good day.